Welcome to Gargantua-2.
And hogwash. Well, I guess if you include the little antenna on top, it's the largest. Did I ever tell you your old man was the first boy in space? Well, first American boy, anyway. But I was the first to come back alive. Poor little Dimitri.
Why is it so unbelievable that I got invited to Gargantua-2?
Because you're just like a normal guy, and barely that.
I am a skilled surgeon, Hank. I put your dad's arm back in his body, and I untwisted you and your brother's testicles.
When did that happen? You fun old clone, Hank!
Okay, so hi, welcome to Venture Bros. Wow, I've got the name of the show wrong. Venture Bros, Adventure Brothers podcast. I'm your host, as always, Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, we have Nick Top Cat Friedemann.
Top Cat. Okay. Top Hat.
Top Cat Friedemann.
Is this like Hanna-Barbera cartoons?
Cartoons from the 60s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. Because we also have Matt Underdog Dykes with us.
Mm-hmm.
I am an underdog.
There we go.
Oh, Top Cat was so awesome. I've actually got the song in my head now. Yeah. Did you never watch Top Cat?
I watched Top
I don't
Cat.
even know what that is.
What? How do you not know what Top Cat is?
I mean, that's why he has the nickname. It's like, what's Top Cat? And it's like, classic Nick. Nick Top Cat.
So true.
You need to watch some Top Cat. It is awesome.
I mean,
Okay.
awesome's a really strong word, but it's pretty good.
Okay, it's awesome if you're a 6 or 7 year old,
Okay,
and then it's awesome now because of nostalgia. Woo, nostalgia.
Okay, I'll give you the nostalgia cred at least. But here we are, season 6, Venture Brothers. Only 2 seasons left. I can't believe it. It's so close to the end. So horrifyingly close. I don't know what I'll do when I can't talk about Venture Brothers every week. I mean, I guess I still can, just not on a podcast.
Yeah, I can do something else.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Although I will say now that we've started season 6, if you want to reach out to us on Facebook via the ATH page, or if you want to email us or reach out to us on Twitter or whatever, and you have a show you would like us to cover, now is the time to start making suggestions. Because right now, I have no ideas. So far, I'm leaning towards Frisky Dingo, and we'll see if there's enough action on that one, because I feel like Frisky Dingo might be a dead show, but we'll get there, because that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we're talking about possibly the best episode of the entire franchise, according to many a fan. All this in Gargantua-2.
Interesting. It's a favorite by that many?
Yeah, a lot of people think it's the best one. Even Brok gave it a 6 out of 5 on his notes.
Interesting.
I love it.
People love this episode. I am. It's tough. It's tough for me to say that I love it more than other episodes, but it's a great episode.
I feel like it's an important episode, but I wouldn't put it in my favorites.
It would definitely crack my top 10, I guarantee.
Well, after we finished recording the last episode, I had to go and watch it. Because I wanted to go straight onto it. I finished season 5, and I have to go straight onto all this in Gargantua-2.
It's a great episode. But since you've watched it the most and most recently, do you want to give us a quick breakdown, Matt? What happens in it? Very quick.
I knew you were going to say that.
Quick as you can. Quick as you can.
Right. Let's go, then. A host of characters are all heading towards Gargantua-2 for its grand opening. The Revenge Society is plotting to rob the place. Unbeknownst to them, though, Phantom Limb is actually working for the Sovereign, who is busy cleaning house and trying to kill the investors who are on Gargantua-2 as well. Meanwhile, the Monarch and 21 break into the Venture compound to steal a rocket to gate-crash Gargantua-2 and do some henching of Rusty Venture. Dr. Mrs. the Monarch gets caught up in the Sovereign's purge and, along with the help of Watch and Ward, manages to escape towards a final showdown with the Sovereign. On board Gargantua-2, JJ announces to Rusty that he's dying and that he's actually envious of his life. They bring aboard the frozen corpse of General Traster, who comes back to life and turns into a Red Hulk. When the shield is taken down by the investors, Rusty and Dean head out into space to manually reset the shield. Despite their success, the core starts to melt down, and everyone evacuates Gargantua 2, and JJ flies it to a safe distance before it explodes. Also, the Venture compound burns down.
I love that ending. Also, the Venture compound burns down. Way to go, Sergeant Hatred. The weird
That's
thing
literally
is,
how I wrote my notes. I'd written the whole thing out. I was like, hang on, I'm not mentioning the Venture compound burnt down. Also, the Venture compound burns down.
the weird thing about it is I kind of forgot that Sergeant Hatred burned down the Venture compound. I know it was destroyed. For some reason, I had in my head that Gargantua 2 fell on it. I don't remember why.
Well, it's debatable whether or not it was actually Sergeant Hatred, because it is technically the Monarch.
That's true, but
Yeah.
No, that's true. The Monarch definitely burns it down. Sergeant Hatred just takes the blame.
Well, I think the best way to describe it is the Monarch starts the fire, Sergeant Hatred's ineptitude lets it continue.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah,
have
he
been the only
doesn't turn
person.
the lasers off.
Oh
And
my
then
god.
the fire trucks. The bit with the fire trucks kills me every time. So it just cuts to him just going, oh god, no.
I'm pretty sure that might be my favorite Sergeant Hatred moment of just trying to do his best and oh god. Oh, the carnage.
I just love how it cuts the fire engines in half and they just burst into flames on them. There's just more fire for them to contend with.
Shockingly effective lasers for the Venture compound.
That's what I was about to say. It's like the one time they probably work properly.
They don't want them to work. Oh god.
It's unfortunate that's really all he's there for in this season or in this episode because I really feel like had he been in space, he would have been hysterical. But this also kind of like it's necessary and it works.
Yeah, but I think it also fits his character arc for this whole season is that it's just like becoming more and more clear that he's not Brok, which is I think the point, but it's also clear that he's just not really cut out for this. Which the second season then or the next episode backs that up even further.
Oh, the next episode really hammers the nail in the coffin that this one kind of tees up.
Yep.
This guy can't handle this job anymore. The next episode, like, he really can't.
No.
Although
He's done?
They give him some redemption stuff throughout, I think 6. Not really in 7 at all. But in 6, they do give him a few moments.
Totally.
But yeah.
He's like, he's just not, he's not a good bodyguard. He's like a good house cleaner, like once or twice a week, but not a good live-in butler.
He's a good nanny.
Yeah. And now that the boys are grown up, they don't really need him anymore. So he's just kind of circling the drain and burning down a compound. Oh, poor Sergeant Hatred. So let's kind of talk just more about like the episode itself. Not really what's in the episode, but more like what this episode had to do and kind of how it got here for people who don't know. For people who just thought that this thing just dropped out of the blue, like this wonderful Venture Brothers special. Like this thing was difficult to get to screen, to put it mildly. Both Hammer and Public did not agree on what the episode should be, like what its job had to be, like what story it had to tell or what story it wanted to tell. There's a lot of like moving parts on this one, and it's interesting that it turned out, especially with this much turmoil behind the scenes, it's interesting how well it turned out, especially since so many people love it as much as they do. But Matt, you read more of it than I did because it's a long section of the book. I'd probably say they spend the most time on this one episode than any other singular episode.
Yeah, there's like a good solid 8 pages in the whole book on the episode, I think.
I thought there was more than that. Like it was over 10. I know that.
Oh, sorry, I'm just talking before you get to the bit where it's like cut on the cutting room floor.
Oh yeah, it's like 8 pages
the
of
actual background.
Yeah, it's 8 pages of what's in the episode, and then pages of what was going to be the episode, and then a little bit of explanation of what the Revenge Society was supposed to be. Like, there's a ton in the book. But if you could give us a quick breakdown of, or like a little bit that you read that you thought was interesting about how this episode came to be, that'd be great.
Well, like this, a lot of it was he was just trying to like at the start of season 5, they decided, right, we're in season 6, we're gonna hit the reset button. They're gonna go to New York. So season 5 was all about setting all that stuff up. So they sort of kept mentioning Gargantua 2 a bit more, because you have that very early mention of it back in season 4, I think it was, where
Ooh, it might have been season 4. I know it was a long time ago.
It might have even been season 3, but whatever episode it was, Pirate says about JJ's up in the stratosphere building his Gargantua 2. So they brought that more into season 5, with like, you know, Rusty's building the Wraith shield. There's like lots more mentions of it. So they decided, like, you know, Gargantua 2, we need to address this. Like, when this is how we're gonna get him to New York. Funnily enough, it wasn't towards the end of the process when they were like breaking the story down when they decided they were going to kill JJ. Because like, and literally the only reason they killed him off was because they're like, we've got really nothing left to do with this character. And they thought of like an idea of maybe an episode where they go to Spider Skull Island for a summer vacation, but they were pretty much out of ideas of what to do with the character, so they just killed him off. They killed off most of the Council of 13 because they didn't want to start digging into the backstory of all these brand new characters. So like the idea was, we'll kill off most of the Council of 13 and we'll build a new one with characters we've already set up and established. And it was a process of stripping things down and simplifying it a bit more, because they were getting some notes from the studio that it was like really complex for new viewers to join the show. And they themselves are sort of thinking that things were getting too big in terms of like how many characters there, so they just wanted to strip it down and simplify a lot of things, and got back to focusing on the family more.
And it's interesting that you say that, because I feel like their goal kind of failed.
Yeah, in a way it did, but in other ways,
after they hit New York, it feels like a bigger show to me. It's always felt bigger since like 6 started. Like, it just felt like a bigger, more epic show. And their idea of making it smaller, I don't think really clicked.
It's not so much small, it's more stripped down. So it is a bigger show, but in terms of the storylines, they're more back to the family. The family's together a lot more in season 6.
Well, that's true, and we don't really have like the OSI-centric episodes anymore.
Yeah, it's like, they wanted to bring Brok back, so they've been thinking about doing that for a while. They originally only planned on having Sergeant Hatred as the bodyguard for a handful of episodes, but they were having so much fun writing him as the bodyguard, they kept him around for longer.
Yeah, and that's kind of my favorite thing that they do. Like, I like that they are willing to just run with things when they work.
Yeah, it's so unlike a lot of creators these days. Like, they'll plan out like a story thing and then start working on it and then realize, actually this is actually working really well. Sometimes they'll be a bit like, but it don't fit my vision, and I've got to do this, and things they don't work as well because of that. If something starts working out really well, run with it. Yeah.
And I think this episode is a perfect example of like, all right, we'll just run with it, because this is just a lot of like, how do we get this to this to this, and we'll just kind of make it till we make it, and then we got a wonderful episode out of it.
Yeah,
right.
And like, it's such a jam-packed episode as well. I mean, like, literally, there's so much jam in that episode.
We'll get more into the details of it in a minute, but first, Nick, you're not as hot on this one as I think most people. What doesn't work for you?
It's weird because I think a lot of stuff works for me, but I don't. It to me, and this is not meant to be a slight at all, but this is a setup episode for the next season and beyond. They're cleaning house and they're bringing it in. It feels like a incredibly well done version of Pirates of the Caribbean 2, which is not meant to be a slight, but Pirates of the Caribbean 2 is like so obviously setting up the third movie. And the difference is that 2, I think, turned people off from 3. But this is like, I'm excited to actually watch this because I'm seeing them kind of clear out some of the stuff that they were done with, and not, like as Matt said, not holding on to it because it's stuck to a vision or anything, but just cleaning it out. The investors are gone. JJ's gone. Gargantua-2 is gone. The compound is gone. You can go through a list of like all the stuff that just gets cleaned out, and then we move on to, I would argue, better things. I think that, like, for me, this season and the season before it are kind of like not as hot for me as 1 and 2, and then 6 and 7, or 7 and 8. Right? This is 6?
We're
No,
in
6 and 7.
6 and 7.
We're in 6 right now.
Yeah.
So 6 and 7. Because I think that it does kind of get a little bit muddled where they're not, it's interesting, but it's not, for me, what I really loved about the Venture Brothers.
Yeah, I can see that. Although I find it interesting that you say that it's a lot of cleaning house, because although that technically what it is, when I'm watching it, it doesn't feel like cleaning house to me. To me, it feels
Not at
like,
all.
It feels like a finale. Like this.
Totally.
If this was the series finale, it would have worked.
Totally. And I agree with you. I think that the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because we're doing this podcast. Before I watched this episode, through that lens, I felt that this was a good episode. It still wasn't my favorite, but it's a really good episode.
Yeah. No, it is. It's interesting that, like, because you're right. You are absolutely right. When it comes to when it comes down to the details, as much as this is a finale and a loving send off to these things, it also is get it out of the way so we can start doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. It's actually probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Totally. And they execute it incredibly well because, like you said, before I had watched this episode, I didn't come into it with that lens. But as I'm watching it going like, here's who everybody is, here's who's gone. Even Tracer, who's really not that big of a character, let's get him out of the way so we don't have any problems with Gathers. Let's just get him out of the way and we can make Gathers more of like a de facto lead of OSI.
Quite funny you mentioned that, like, getting Gathers out of the way. In the book, they mentioned they've got an idea to bring him back if they want to.
Oh, interesting.
They're not sure if they're ever going to use it, but the idea is that at the end, where there's the big explosion, Tracer absorbs all that radiation, basically turns into a Galactus-like character.
I like it.
I'm so okay with it. Just because of the fact that Tracer became a Hulk after a one-off joke of, like, I'm a Hulk.
Yeah.
And then he actually became a Hulk is fucking fantastic.
I love that realization where he just goes, Tracer's a Hulk.
Tracer has
like
an
an
urge
absurd-
to smash.
Tracer has
Oh, it's so fucking good.
It's just the way he words it as well. It's like such a Tracer way of wording it as well. Uncontrollable desire to smash.
Yeah. Oh my god. I love Tracer. I also love Hulk Tracer. Like, it just worked out great.
He's such an absurd character that you can do pretty much anything with. If he turned into a Galactus thing, I would be like, makes sense.
Yeah, I'd buy it. Oh, it's Tracer though. I mean, that's just kind of what you expect from Tracer.
Exactly.
All right, let's start getting the little nitty-gritty details of this thing because there are so many.
Yes.
Let's just kind of we're gonna kind of just pick and choose our way through what we like and what we don't like and kind of see where that takes us. I think my favorite thing in the episode, then, like, my favorite through line has to be I hate it because it always is. It's Hank. I love Hank in this episode. He's so great. I love that he figures out Brock's there. I like that he actually tries to be a spy with Brok. I love that he's not intimidated by the naked woman in the bed. He just jumps up and starts talking to her. Hi, I'm Henry Allen Venture. Like, Hank is just the best.
Yeah. And it's almost like a Hank version of flirting as well. Like, sort of picked up on that this time I was watching it. It was like, is he trying to flirt with her? Or and he's just being, like, you know, kind of cute about it? Or is he just literally being like, hi there, I'm Hank. Who are you?
I think it's with Brok, it's hi there, I'm Hank.
Yes, I agree. If Brock wasn't there, it'd be different. I think that it's just him. When he gets locked into Brock spy anything, Hank, it's like Hank on cocaine. Yeah, Hank is a really good, like, engine for this whole episode. Because he kind of puts a lot of little things into motion.
Yeah.
Like, in a weird way, he's kind of what gets Brock captured.
In a way, yeah.
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 I just love the subtle way, just like, he just sort of grabs the mustache as he's walking out.
Exactly. Which subtle. Then comes back later. where he thinks he's doing such a good job. It's no Russian Guyevich goatee, but...
I mean, that's always going to be the best.
I'm Russian Guyevich.
It's so funny that works, but, like, the whole huge handlebar mustache that matches his hair color doesn't.
Well, he also had a henchman suit on the other one.
That's true. That's true. He is just wearing his regular clothes in this, isn't he?
Yeah.
With just the okay.
The Fred from Scooby-Doo clothes as well.
Yeah. The neckerchief is a dead giveaway.
Every time. But he does wear them well.
Yeah.
So if not Hank, then who else do we love in this episode?
I actually love the Revenge Society. I think that they bring them back in a really intelligent way that sets them up for success in the future. Like, I think that it's hard not to hate Phantom Limb, but I think this is where you start to kind of understand Phantom Limb a little bit more, and they start to bring his character back from the brink, if that makes sense.
I feel like it kind of started back when he got the shoe and toaster.
Well, that's what I mean, is that he was off his rocker then. I think now he's kind of starting to come back down.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, he definitely went on a journey.
Yes.
That's one way of putting it. He's going on a journey to a psychiatric ward.
Yeah, he had a process he had to go through.
Yep.
I also love that they give him shit for that. I founded this Revenge Society.
Yeah, with a
toaster and
shoe.
I'm sad, though, that Baron Underbite really is just like, this is his last bit. And he doesn't really have much to do.
It's his last bit. It's Killinger's last bit. We said goodbye to a lot of people.
It's
all my favorite characters.
It's something they mention.
Maybe this is why I don't love this episode, now that I'm thinking about it.
You should love it more, though, because this is the last time you see him. You know, you don't.
It's
see
a good
him
send-off for
this.
Killinger, not a great send-off for Baron. Baron has his boomerang jaw, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I love that bit. It's like, very good. Well, what else could you do? And he sort of looks almost like to the camera like, oh, nothing. There is actually a thing in the book about that where a cut scene was Underbite. They explain what actually happens to Underbite because you don't see him get off Gargantua-2 or anything like that. So in the cut scene, he asks Fat Chance to send him back to Underland because he's just not cut out for this sort of stuff anymore. He just wants to go home.
Nice.
But yeah, they cut it out, so you sort of like you're left in the air of like, did he get off? Did he not get off?
I'll just believe that cut scene because I love Underbite and him getting a good send off feels right.
Yeah, I like the idea of him like having a nice little retirement home somewhere.
Yeah.
In Underland, which is in between Michigan and Canada.
Yeah. It's just right, just like little, just between Michigan and Canada, just that tiny little town there.
Yeah, just got a little bubble of a community.
Yeah,
of course.
Oh man, I think my favorite thing in Revenge Society has to be Zero though.
Oh
yes.
God,
just
his
every
death
every
gets me
interaction
every
he has
time.
with every interaction he has with every person is amazing. Especially like even just the start of the and you there, henchman Zero, just Zero. I hench for no man, and just Killinger's. Yeah. It's just so dismissive and mean.
Killinger, who is, despite being kind of a monster, like is and so positive about almost everybody, is tired of Zero.
But you can tell that even the writers are just completely dismissive of Zero in the way that his death is just literally just Brok just breaks his neck and that's it. There's no like ceremony about it. Like Brok breaks his neck, Hank pukes, that's it.
Yep.
I fucking love just everything about Zero from his first episode through his last is just a great character. I'm not gonna die.
It's great.
Death by Samson.
He's also like
twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's also just like an insufferable person.
Oh
like,
yeah, he's the worst.
Ugh. He tries to be helpful, but nah.
Oh god, I kind of wish Gary had found out about him dying, just because I'm like, oh, he survived. Oh, he died. That makes sense.
Yep. Same thing.
Yeah. Brok was gonna get him sooner or later. We all knew it.
It's true.
All right, so we've been talking almost half an hour. Who haven't we hit on this thing? We talked a little bit of Tracer.
Jesus.
Didn't really talk to Rusty at all.
Or JJ.
Yeah, I was saving JJ for last. It's really JJ's
okay, that's
finale.
fair.
I mean, we've got like even the Monarch we haven't even really touched upon. Him and 21?
Well, here's the thing. Unfortunately, as much as I love the Monarch and Gary, all they really do is light the fire on the compound.
Yeah, but what they also do is they build up their relationship in this episode. Before it's like henchman and sort of like supervillain.
But here's my counterpoint to that. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but the long and the short of it is, if they were not in this episode, and what we had was the season 5 finale where he said, "I'm back," and then the season 6, the one we're covering next week, where they're just friends in the house and they're back together, I don't need their relationship in this episode to believe the jump from "I'm back" to them friends again.
Right. I think it's a nice to have, and it does help, but not a lot really happens.
Yeah, it's great. I love seeing it, but you're right. I just don't need it necessarily, which is why I wasn't going to spend a lot of time on them. So
the Monarch does have one of the top 5 moments in the episode, though, where he goes, "The Monarch is on the Council of 30," and then like spins a chair.
That's true.
And
100%.
Killian goes, "Not you."
It's probably my favorite moment in the entire episode. But again, I could have had that moment without all him and Gary. That moment would still play the exact same if he had just shown up.
True.
So anyhow, back to Rusty, who we absolutely do need in this episode, because this is quite a bit of growth for Rusty. It's kind of the end of this version of Shitbag Rusty. I was going to say the end of Shitbag Rusty. That's not true at all.
No.
It's the end of poor Shitbag Rusty.
Yes.
I tell you what, though, it's the first time I think we see Rusty in the Venture with us so far genuinely do the go Team Venture V and feel like emotional about it. When he does it at the end, where you see JJ's taking Gargantua the core, and he does that sort of thing. He has like a sad look on his face, and I was sort of thinking to myself, "My God, Rusty's an all right guy, actually." And then
whoa.
Then I had to remind myself, no, he's not. Just think about all the other shit he's done. I was like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Still made a masturbating machine out of an orphan.
Yeah. They fucking hell.
He's always got that in the back pocket.
I mean, there's that, and then there's the knocking up a 13-year-old girl as well.
There's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. So even though he's sad that his brother died, still not a great dude.
No.
And I think that, like, it's weird, but I do agree that it is, like, a genuine thing, though. Like, we've often gone back and forth on if he loves his sons, and I think he loves them as much as he can.
Yes.
But I do think that despite the fact that JJ basically eclipsed Rusty in record time, and JJ is kind of an asshole, but not nearly as big of an asshole as Rusty, he does, I think, miss having him around. Like, if we jump ahead to the future, despite the fact that JJ basically makes Rusty what he is from pretty much here on, I think he does kind of miss having that brother.
Yeah, and there's also an argument to be made that each generation of Venture becomes a better person. So if you go from like Jonas to Rusty to Jonas Jr., each one of them is marketably a better person. And then you get to the Venture brothers, and it's like, oh, these are just genuine human beings.
Yeah.
Right.
So I thought that's kind of interesting when you're
13 clones down the line, but yeah.
I mean, I don't think they were ever bad people. They're just idiots.
Yeah. Because they've been cloned about 13 times. That probably doesn't help.
Oh my God, that moment he has with Billy, when Hank has with Billy on the plane.
Oh God,
you fondled clone Hank, didn't you? So if that's Rusty, I feel like we got to talk a little bit about Dean, because I mostly because of his moment with Rusty on the outside of the ship, and it's a rare moment of confidence from both of them, and I really enjoy it. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the shield.
It's the shield, and it's the moment of the wow, that's impressive. Well, I know I'm impressive, but I didn't know you knew it. And then Dean gets to give the call back to him for the same thing. Like, I love those moments. Like, the actual sincere, oh, they were both right for once moments.
Right.
I thought it was sweet. I liked it.
Yeah. It was one of the rare moments where it's like a genuine father and something where you can actually think, oh, yeah, that's actually something to do with your kids. You know, as opposed to everything else that Rusty does, like, okay, do the exact opposite of that when you're raising your child.
One character we have to talk about before we get to Jonas Jr.? I would say the other lead of the show, although I didn't really think so until this watch, It's Sheila or Dr. Girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We definitely need. I just want to say as well. Watching Ward's entrance. Viva la resistance!
Oh, that's so
God.
good. And then just the fucking Watch and Ward dogs was so good.
Oh, I found a cheat code. How do you adjust the controls?
Audio Watch and Ward throughout this were just fantastic. But Dr. Girlfriend's entire arc throughout this episode. I mean, it's kind of like what you were saying earlier with the cleaning house. This really was like, we should have had her in a higher position this whole show. Let's just start throwing her at it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
she's so competent in this as well. It's her that has the showdown with the Sovereign.
Yeah, and she holds her own very well.
Yeah, despite being shot as well.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
like,
if she hadn't been injured, she would have kicked the shit out of the Sovereign.
Oh, yeah. And I love that we finally figure out who the Sovereign is. Like, even that was great. The Sovereign is just
A nobody.
guy.
Yeah.
Nobody who could shapeshift.
And his death. Oh my god. It's another nothing death. It's like
Yep.
accidentally shot by a headshot.
And I actually looked that up. Originally, they were going to try to leave that open-ended. Was that the Sovereign or wasn't it? And then after Bowie died, they're like, nope, it was him.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do anything else with Bowie after he died, which I thought was kind of a respectful and nice.
They did
thing.
mention in the book, like,
Yeah.
if they think of anything to bring the Sovereign back, like any idea, they were sort of like, the reason they wanted to leave it sort of open-ended, whether or not it was, is because they were sort of like, on the idea of it's the Sovereign, he's dead, we're done with the Sovereign. But in case we think of something really good, we could just sort of say, oh no, it was another eagle. And
Yeah,
that's why
I mean-
they sort of shot it that way.
Which would be a very Venture Brothers like walk around. Like
Yeah.
all it'd have to be is like two eagles flying together, and you see the one get shot, have him go, "Oh, that was lucky."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like going back to Orb, and like when we thought, I forget his name, the bodyguard had snapped the neck, and it's like, no, he just broke the orb.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's a very
Exactly.
Venture Brothers workaround. It's like, oh yeah, that still works.
Sandow. I was trying to think of the
Sandow,
name.
thank you, Sandow. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything that isn't JJ. So let's talk a little JJ.
Yeah. I've always kind of liked JJ. I think that, like, he is kind of a pompous jerk, but I do feel like this made me feel like, oh, this makes sense. Like, I wonder how long he knew he was going to die, because I feel like he probably knew almost like from the first few weeks of being quote unquote alive when he was out of Rusty.
I would guess that he was okay for a little bit. Would just be my take on it, and I would say if I had to guess when he discovered he was going to die, it'd be about a week before he started building Gargantua 2, and then he fast-tracked Gargantua 2.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I think around the time he decided to build Gargantua 2, because to him, Gargantua 2 was going to be his legacy.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have the family. Like, you know, like he was saying that he's jealous of Rusty because Rusty has the family. And, you know, Rusty did it right. He had the family. He's got nothing. And he wanted to leave something behind. So Gargantua 2 is his family, in a sense.
Yeah.
His legacy.
That's what I took it at. That's what I would have guessed.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it works. But it's really one of those things where, like, I don't really understand. So he had cancer. We got that much from his conversation with Tracer, and from his little bit with Billy. But otherwise, they don't really go into, like, what he has or how fast he's dying, other than he doesn't have a lot of time left.
Right.
I kind of like that, though. Because you don't have to go into detail. You know, all you need to know is, you know, he's got cancer. He's dying. He's not got long left. I mean, like, you can sort of tell just from his general look that he's, you know, he's quite sickly. He's very pale. So we know that it's, you know, he's getting towards the end. You don't really need any, you know, for him to say, oh, it's cancer caused by this or that. I mean, you have that little bit where he says, you got all the good genes, brother. This whole body's, like, not doing very well, something like that. I can't remember the exact line, but...
I think it's something along the lines of, like, all the organs in this little body are shutting down.
yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
I mean,
That's the way it seems.
and it's kind of sad. Like, I agree with you. I always kind of like JJ, but I also kind of like JJ in the way of I love to hate JJ.
Yeah, because JJ's
Yeah.
got that sort of like that pompousness of Jonas mixed with the sort of... he's got a mixture of like both Jonas and Rusty's characteristics, and it makes quite an interesting mixture of character traits. And
sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, I was literally just gonna say, and yeah, it makes him a fun character to sort of like be annoyed at whenever they're on screen. So, just shut up, JJ.
Now, here's my one thing, and I'm just gonna put it out there just as a theoretical whatever. Take it for what you will. I'm not sure that Public and Hammer ever fully figured out what to do with JJ.
100,000%.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they even say in the book that they'd run out of stuff to do because.
But it's not even they ran out of stuff to do. I don't think they ever fully landed on what to do.
Oh yeah.
Because he always changes. He's always like they almost made him a superhero or like a protagonist for a while. They just never really fully landed on it. And it felt like after throwing as many darts at as many walls as they could, nothing stuck. And that's where they came with we ran out of ideas for what to do with them, and that's why he left the show.
So I wonder if it's just a thing of like, in doing that, it was also the character didn't know what to do.
That's possible.
The character is, he's just been born. He's in a brand new world. He's got all this, but he's been around. He's been, we know that he knows all the stuff that's happened around. Some like being inside Dr. Venture. He's Rusty. He's seen the stuff, because they refer to stuff like that's happened and things like that. So he's aware of the world, and he's sort of like then sort of thrown into it where he can do stuff in the world and try and make a change. Like that, it would be like watching your favorite TV. It's like watching the Venture Brothers, and then all of a sudden being in the Venture Brothers world. What would you do in that situation? You try a lot of different things.
I don't disagree.
Totally.
I don't disagree with your take on it. I don't think that's wrong, and I think it would reasonably make sense. I just don't feel like that's how they wrote the character. I feel like the way they wrote it, he was 100% confident and he knew exactly what he wanted at all times, and just the stuff behind the writing wasn't as clear focused as the character was.
Yeah.
And I think the way that you explained it away, I think works, and I'm willing to go with that. But I'm not sure if that's really how it shook out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, and I, to be honest, I agree with you. But like in terms of like how we can, sort of like translate them not knowing what to do with the characters, we can sort of see it as the character didn't know what to do.
And I think that like what's weird is for me, I feel like the best way he was ever used was as this weird foil for Rusty, like kind of like this opposite of what Rusty could have been if, to a certain extent, Rusty hadn't been so damaged by his father, and to a certain extent hadn't kind of developed these self-destructive tendencies and stuff like that. He could have been JJ.
Yeah.
But they never really lean into that either. They have these snippets of it in episodes, but nothing that they really ever like dive into, which I think is fine. But I think that to me was the best way to have used him. But I don't think it really ever felt natural. I don't know.
No, I agree. I think we're all kind of on the same page with it, which is both, it's good and bad. It's bittersweet.
Totally.
I think we've said pretty much everything we can about this episode in a reasonable amount of time and not to keep people listening for hours on end. Let's move into... So for Season 6, our favorites will be favorite performances, which is a little different than what we've done before. So that could mean that even though it's not your favorite character or favorite anything in the episode, as long as you think the person portraying the role did wonderful, then that could be your favorite. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first, if that's all right with everyone.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
So for mine, I wrote down Colonel Gentleman, but I don't know really if it's favorite performance or if it's just that I really like all the moments he has. So it's like this hatred of the robots, and then it's like you keep telling you're gonna go out that airlock, and then actually throws one of the robots out the airlock, and then the bit where he gets in, where he's actually in on the action, he's kicking the crap out of everyone, then gets thrown on the ground, and then the last bit we see of him, where he's like, "Oh, leave me, I think my hip's broke," and he get like cut off mid-sentence, where the robot just runs past and just picks him up and carries him. I love that moment. I think it's so funny, and it's just the way that the line gets cut off as he's saying, "Leave me to die, save yourselves."
It's so fucking good. Oh, and that poor robot just doesn't know what's coming for him.
Yeah.
Assuming that's the same robot from the next episode, which it probably isn't. But either way, I'm going to go with, I think Doc Hammer gets the award for me for this season, or for this episode, specifically because of his performance with Billy and Rose. He cracks my shit up every time as both those characters. I specifically love the moment where Rose is singing to Billy, and then like cuts away, and then it cuts back, and she's still singing, and Colonel Gentleman's like the whole song, and just Billy's every time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I love that.
The two of them together just crack my shit up. I fucking love it. Just keep your head down. When the action starts, Mommy will protect you.
Yeah. The bird's always just about to tell him the truth, and then like all the doors on. She's like, "Your mother was a professional dancer."
Good shit. Nick, last but not least.
I was also going to say Colonel Gentleman, but I'd say my number 2 is Toby Huss as General Traster.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's so good. I've been watching *Halt and Catch Fire*, and he's in that, and he's phenomenal in like actual on-screen acting as well, in terms of and not just voice acting. He's such a good actor, and I didn't even realize it was General Traster's voice until I read about it in the book, and I was like, and as soon as I've known that, I was like, oh my god, yeah, I can hear it now. That's crazy.
Totally.
I had never looked up who voiced Traster, and my mind is blown at who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you said Toby Huss, I'm like, wait, Toby Huss? I know Toby Huss. And I'm looking at his IMDb, I'm like, that's Traster?
It's insane, isn't it? I had no idea.
Wow, I'm impressed.
It's like
Well, he does the exact same voice on King of the Hill, and that's where I had originally known him from. Yes. He's so ramped up to 11. Like, he's so incredibly passionate about everything, which I feel like is so funny in this episode where like stuff is consistently going wrong. He is just doing his own thing pretty much the whole time.
And it's so energetic and like, rah! Tracer's a Hulk, and you know, I can never remember the fucking line. It's under overwhelming desire to smash. That's it.
It's so fucking good. I'm so impressed that this is Toby Huss.
Yeah, they get some great voice actors for this show.
My God. I love this show. I don't think I've said that enough.
Yeah.
Good shit, man. All right, I think we should say goodbye. I think this is it, right? We've done it?
Yeah.
We've completed it? Done everything we can? Quick round of plugs. Be sure to check out all of the shows in the ATH Network, including Samwise, Demon Days, After the Hype, and Damage Boost. Be sure to check out Superstore starting soon on NBC to support my wife. And that's it for me. Nick, are you plugging your thing yet or no?
Nah.
I'm going to keep coming up with creepier and creepier ways to ask that question.
Cool.
Yeah. Matt, what about you?
So my last article that went out will be the one about petitions, which, you know, getting really pissed off at the amount of people who are doing petitions about stupid things now because they're not happy with how it turned out. The next one I imagine will be to do with the whole Sony versus Disney thing. And on the next episode of the Venture Brothers, I will be finally revealing what this massive article I've been writing is about. And it's going to be 4 parts, and it's going to be the whole month of October. Each part will be coming out 1 week at a time.
I look forward to trying to understand what the hell they're about. Because it is a huge blank spot in my nerddom. So I'm excited to take a look.
You need to fill that spot.
I think I'm okay, but we'll find out. If your article convinced me, I'll be impressed.
Yeah.
It's up to you, Matt.
No pressure.
Okay. So, thank you very much for everyone for listening. Tune in next week as we get into the rest of Season 6. Starting with, I'm forgetting the name of it now.
Hostile Makeover.
Thank you. I just wanted to call it something makeover. I knew there was another word. Hostile Makeover next week. Be sure to check it out. Thank you so much, and bye.
Goodbye.